Hey, Bucs fans, I'm Scott Smith, and the draft weekend has finally arrived. We're right outside the draft room where Jason Licht, general manager of the Buccaneers, is about to go in and get things started. Jason, I know this is a very important weekend for the franchise, but also for you, and not just you, but all your staff, all those scouts putting in the miles. How fun and how rewarding is this weekend after all that work?
It's something that we look forward to all year. It's there's not a day that goes by where we're not preparing for this day, and that will start next week.
Okay.
For the next one. So, there's a little bit of time off in between over the summer, but it's the scouts put so much work in. I'm being a former scout myself, several years on the road. I know how they feel every night, staying up late, writing these reports after evaluating film all day. So all their work gets rewarded, whether we take the player or we don't take the player on their recommendation. Everybody just very much gets excited for this week.
10 years ago, you walked into that room, and with the first pick you ever made as the Bucs general manager, you took Mike Evans, and you have talked about how sizable an impact he has had on this franchise, on the community, and even on your personal family. So when you walk in there each year, do you think about the fact that you could be adding a guy to this franchise that could have that type of impact?
Absolutely. You think of the Mike Evans, the Vita Veas, go on and on, Ali Marpet's, guys that aren't here with us anymore but made a big impact. That's what you strive for. But you always want that first pick to set the tone for the rest of the class. And if you look at the whole, Mike Evans set the tone for the last era here. So
you mentioned Ali Marpet. If I'm not mistaken, I think you made a small trade up before drafting him, and you've done that 4 or 5 times. Coincidentally, it always seems to be up for offensive linemen. But I'm asking generally about the idea of trading up. And is this just each time was unique, or do you have some kind of philosophy that if the guy we really covet is close, we're going to make that move?
A little of both. We get some intel. We think we know what teams are coveting the same player. We might be looking to trade up as well. We've got some boots on the ground, or we've had boots on the ground telling us this information. And sometimes you just want to go get your guy, but sometimes you just have to be patient and let it come to you. So
and hold on to those picks, right?
Those picks are so priceless.
You said during your pre-draft press conference that the Bucs have a lot of needs on the roster, but I like the way you put it. It's actually a good thing because your team was close to making the NFC Championship game last year, but you think you can improve it. And so that tells me that you think in this draft that you can add some guys that will have an impact on a team that can make the playoffs again.
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of trust in my staff and in the process, what we go through, how we go through it here recently, that we can add some really good players, not only in the first, second round, but also in that third and fourth round. We've been doing really good there. So I think these guys that we get today hopefully can help us get over the hump and get into that championship game.
Obviously, you go over multiple scenarios, and it's hard to predict when you're picking 26, obviously. But is this draft any more difficult to predict? I mean, is this one in particular kind of been stumping people and how to predict what's going to happen?
I don't know if it's any different. When you're picking where we're at, it's impossible to predict. We think we've gone over so many scenarios. We think we know, but then it just takes 1 or 2 moves that throws everything off. And sometimes there's that, wow, this guy is still there. Sometimes the wow player that's still there, he's out of the league in a few years. So, but it's hard to predict.
It's tough. Yeah. Finally, Jason, the most offensive players that have ever gone in the first round is 19, and there's a lot of people that think that record might be broken this year. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing for where you sit right here?
It can work in your favor depending on the position and the players that you're targeting. So I do know that it is going to be a heavy offensive draft here in the first round.
Well, thank you. Good luck this weekend, and may the draft board fall your way.
Appreciate it.